Hi, it's Dawn Isenhower with Sibcy Cline Realtors here to talk about value of property. I've had this come up a lot in the past couple of weeks where people have asked, what's the difference between having an agent's value that they put on a property versus an appraised value by an appraisal? Well, there's something that you have to understand when it comes to price. My job as an agent is to take a look at comparable sales from the past 6 months and neighborhood information, and to determine a price range and a listing price based off of that price range. So the range will involve condition, right? Here's the low end, here's the high end, here's why I think that the property will be best received by the public in drawing in an offer or multiple offers in this case. What the appraiser does, the appraiser actually determines the value of the property. So they're two very different things. I am trying to draw an offer and attract it at the highest price in the shortest amount of time for the seller. And the appraiser is actually going in based on the same information that I'm using, comparable sales within the past 6 months, neighborhood information. They're looking at the same market I am, but they're actually determining value. So in the case of a real estate transaction, I go in, I look at the comparable sales, and I give a suggested list price to the seller. We get under contract with a buyer, and the bank orders an appraisal. So the appraiser comes in and affirms our value or not. If we're on target with the comparable sales, then we get our value affirmed by the appraiser. And if we're off track, then the appraiser will give their own determination of value, and they are licensed by the state to do that. Got a lot of people who want to try to sell on their own first, and they consult me about price. Well, the main problem with that is I've got such a reach as an agent with my marketing. I can get a wider audience, and I've got more potential to draw offers that way. If someone is selling for sale by owner, their audience is extremely limited. So using a list price, suggested list price from an agent is probably not a good idea when their audience is going to be much smaller than what I'm capable of. So my list price is going to be what attracts offers in through extensive and terrific marketing, but it's not going to satisfy a court. In legal situations, you really need to have that licensed appraiser do what they're best at doing and determining the value of the property. The old adage is the property's worth whatever a buyer is willing to pay, and that's very true. So my job is to attract that buyer so that they're willing to give us what the seller is asking for or even more in this market. And then the appraiser's job is to come in and affirm that value or not, depending on what their findings are. So very, very different types of pricing. Just like you don't want to go necessarily with where the auditor has your house appraised, because that appraisal is for tax purposes. So there are many values that can be placed on your house, and it just depends on what the situation calls for at the time. If you would like to discuss this topic or any others, feel free to reach out to me at 513-236-1254, or feel free to private message me as well. Be happy to talk with you. Have a good one. Bye.